Hello guys, I'm just going to attempt to do a walkthrough of this Avin Avant 3. I've been asked by quite a few people to try and run through some of the features, so I'll do that now. I thought I'd start with the car off so I could try and show you how quickly or how slowly it starts up. So here we go. Not, but it connected to my phone's hotspot pretty immediately, which is good. All right, so I don't know if you can hear it over the speakers, but there is a slight background hiss when it boots up and my amps are on, so there's a sort of background noise level. But anyway, I'll like run through this thing. I'll just run through the buttons in turn. So you've got your home button. It's already on the home screen. This is like an overlay over the top of Android. It's nice, capacitive touch, fairly responsive. You can drag apps the same you can on any other sort of modern device. From here you can also get to your Android in the background, so you've got all your apps in here, and plus the Play Store and settings and all the rest of it. So home button goes back to home, of course. That's a back button, that's just generic, does the same as this back button in Android. Generally works in any app you're in, so like YouTube or whatever. This is voice assistant button, so if I press it, it should open the Google cat pictures.
Some matching news articles.
Right, whatever. Okay, so it's Google, so it's fine. But anyway,
Here are some matching news articles.
that works, kind of. All right, this is the Android app switcher, where you can switch between currently running apps. You see what fucking loads running, but doesn't seem to mind. It's all right. This will open your navigation app of choice. So I've chosen to use Waze. Seems to be the best for me. Yeah, and obviously you get all the benefits of having an online directory. You know, McDonald's.
Okay, searching for McDonald's.
There you go. Anyway, so next to that you've got the radio button. I haven't actually got the aerial connected because I believe I was sent the wrong lead. The cable I have doesn't actually fit on the back of any of the sockets on this unit. Don't really care, to be honest. Never listen to the radio these days. If I listen to the radio, I use data and use a tune-in radio or something like that, an app. Let me just shut this thing up quickly. Oh no, I can just mute it, can't I? There you go. Yeah, all right, so DVR. Now I haven't got my DVR plugged in yet because I've got the rear camera and the front camera, and they both sort of connecting together. I wasn't happy with the way the rear camera fitted into one of the number plate lights, so I've left it for now. I've left them disconnected, but I've got them there, and I'm sure it'll work fine. You've got your tire pressure monitoring system. I didn't go for that option myself, just because I couldn't really afford it at the time. But anyway, Bluetooth is your standard kind of Bluetooth connection to a mobile phone. You get on any car, it brings in your directory and things like that. Phone, that is for the built-in SIM card, which I haven't got. I haven't got one in there, so this phone is essentially useless. But that'd work. You'd have your own number for the car, I guess, if you had a data SIM in there that had the capacity to make a phone call. That's just a play button, generic. It works on generally most apps that are running. So if you're watching YouTube, it'll work as a pause and play button, or Spotify or whatever. EQ is the really basic EQ you get with this thing. It's just, I've just left it alone, really. Skip buttons, they work fine. Music is a built-in music app, which reads from the SD card, which is under here. So I've got some FLAC files on there. See if they're any better quality than Spotify, which don't really seem to be honest. Auxiliary, I haven't got anything plugged into it, but it's a video as well as audio source, so you could plug in a analog TV tuner, digital TV tuner, old PlayStation or something like that, but it's got those standard 3 phono sockets for that button. Video will play video files from the SD card. I haven't got any loaded on there at the moment, so that's that. DVD, you can get from Avin a DVD drive, but I've never bothered with that. CA, now that will launch either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, depending on which option you've got. I've got Apple CarPlay, but seeing as I'm using my phone to film this, I don't really know how I can show you. But to be honest, it's kind of shit. I'd rather use the Android side, the actual Avin. I've got much more apps available to me. Apple CarPlay seems to be really strict on what apps it brings over and makes available to you, so it's just a waste of time for me, really. I haven't really bothered. Really, the main things... Oh, actually, yeah, here's a big thing. Okay, so the iBus app. This is probably what most of you actually really interested in. This is the... I guess reading the OBD, OBC data, so you can see I've got my range, outside temperature, all the stuff from the dashboard, consumption 1 and consumption 2. That's not showing anything because on this you can set the option to, where is it? Yeah, so I can say reset at every start. So I've got consumption 2 resetting at the start of every journey at the moment, just so I can see, a bit more detail. That's my long term, but that's pretty crap because I have fully reset it recently and been booting it around, so that's why it's so low. Mileage, all the rest of it. Yeah, engine speed. It's not that sort of responsive, but it's all right. Fuel level, voltage is really useful if you're running a sound system and you're sitting parked up with it running. I use that to just check my voltage to make sure I don't get stuck. Oil and cooling temperature, power use in horsepower. I don't know how the hell it works that out, but when you're cruising along, you can kind of see it's using 20, 30 horsepower, floor it and it goes up. That's pretty good. So here you've got some extra things. You've got a control tab. I think that's for the vent timer, for the rest function. I've never really used. I can unfold and fold my mirrors from there. Limit, I think that's the old speed limit warning alarm thing. I haven't really played with it, to be honest. Set limit. No, I can't bother now. PDC, that's pretty good. So I can turn the PDC on from there, or use the button on the dash, or when I've got the camera wired in, I'll have the reversing signal cable connected, so when I stick it in reverse, it'll bring up this screen, but it'll also bring up the camera. So I think when you've got camera connected, it does a split screen with the camera on one half and your PDC on the other. But this will actually show a little heat map of what's near the sensors. So if I try it, I'm going to gamble and see if it works. So PDC inactive. Okay, let's try it. All right, so PDC's active. Yeah, it's picking stuff up because I'm aired out and the ground's really close to the sensors, so it kind of picks up the ground as stuff. If I air up, that'll go off, but I'm not going to bother. And also, actually, you can calibrate this sensitivity in here. You can dip your mirror and your driver mirror and your passenger mirror for reversing. That's pretty handy. OBD. I'm not really going to try and go into this but basically you can load your OBD data. Oh, it doesn't want to do it now. All right, okay, teething problems. But here you can see you've got coding options. You can code your lighting control module. Change to leave your indicators on for US spec running lights or what have you. yeah, that's about it for that. I haven't delved deeply into it. I will do at some point, but I just read some things online that some people had made some changes that they fucked their car up, you know, so I don't even want to do that. Select light. Okay. Yes, I'm not gonna fuck with this at the moment until I've actually read up on it and made sure, you know. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah. Also, if I put it on this screen, it shows you doors open and boot open and all the rest of it. What else can I show you? Oh yeah, I found this out tonight. It's a nice little touch. When you dim your interior lights, the screen gets brighter, and when you brighten your interior lights, the screen gets dimmer. So I thought that was quite nice. Oh yeah, and your steering wheel controls will work out the box as well. So if I that all works nice. Better stop that because Facebook will delete my video. Yeah, so that's kind of it. You've got oh yeah, another thing, I've got my air ride on there via Bluetooth, so it's just a normal Airlift Performance app, but it seems to work all right. Yeah, absolutely fine. Fairly responsive. Yeah, I thought that was quite a nice little touch. You know, things like YouTube work absolutely fine, just the same as they would on any tablet. You know, it's pretty good to have that on there. It's not going to work now, obviously, because I'm trying to show you, but there you go. Yeah, so not too bad. Thing about the screen, it comes with a really glossy, shiny screen, and it's really fucking horrible to drag your fingers on. It feels like your fingers are sticking to it. So I found that Avin had actually, or I'd ordered a set of screen protectors with it as well. I put one of them on, and they're like a matte finish, like a satin kind of finish, and it's much nicer to use now. Like your finger brushes over it really nicely. It seems a bit more responsive and nice to use. Doesn't pick up fingerprints as easily. So if you're going to buy one of these things, recommend to get the screen protectors as well. Oh yeah, one button I didn't look at was that's your Avin Avant settings. They're pretty basic, really. There's not a hell of a lot in there. Certain things are locked out. Boot logo seems to be locked out. I don't know if you can get access to that. But there's a few things in there. If you want, I'll just go through roughly what's in there, so you guys can pause it if you want. Separate volume controls, the same shitty equalizer. That's yeah, some options for reversing camera in there. Nav, that's where you can choose which nav app launches from that button. Bluetooth settings, steering wheel controls. Oh, apparently you can reassign your steering wheel control buttons. I haven't messed with it yet, but I will do. And then some information. Yeah, so pretty basic, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Making phone calls or answering calls when you're driving doesn't seem too bad. It's got a built-in mic under the screen there, which is what I'm using. I haven't hooked up the external because I heard it's actually worse than the internal one, so I thought I'd give the internal one a try, and it's worked fine for any phone calls I've had. So yeah, what else can I show you? Just my normal sort of just apps. I've only stuck to apps really that I use when I'm driving or parked up, so I haven't put anything silly on there. I tried to put Netflix on here though, and I couldn't find a Netflix app for this, and I don't know why, because it's just an Android device. So it seems like Netflix is like locked out if it knows it's a vehicle-based device. I don't know. But anyway, I want Netflix on there, so I'm gonna keep trying. Yeah. Otherwise, sorry for the boring, like rambling video as usual, but people wanted to see it, so there it is. See you later.